Hey guys, welcome back to day 3 of the Debt Payoff Challenge. I'm Nicole, Rule of Greatest Worth, and thank you for being here. I'm so glad you've made it this far. So day 3, you guessed it, it's time to create a budget. So if you already have a budget, clearly you can kind of skip this step. But I do think it's important to kind of revisit your budget, because my whole vision for this step is actually to kind of see if your budget, what you're spending in your budget, is actually aligning with your money focus, which is to pay off debt, right? We've already talked about that. We decided that in day 1. So the whole point of creating the budget is to see where your money is going so that you can funnel more money to paying off your debt, if that's what you choose. And since you told me that's your focus, that's kind of my strategy for you at this point. If you have found out that you spend more money than you actually make and there is no extra money at the end of the month, creating a budget will help you, because it will figure out where money is going that you could cut out. Like what spending you could cut out that is creating this lack, this overspending each month. And then there's also another step that you could do, which is to create more income. So there's all kinds of side hustles out there. Honestly, when I was paying off my debt, I was a physical therapist, and so I just picked up, I actually had 3 different jobs at 3 different places so that I could get shifts whenever I wanted, and whatever worked with my childcare schedule. But that's how I increased my income, because we were doing the same thing. We were actually spending more than we were making, and it took us a few months to kind of get to the point of spending less than we were making so that we had some extra to put towards debt. And honestly, once you create the budget, that might be all you need in order to create the extra to put towards your debt. So don't skip this step. Even if you are spending more than you make every month, don't skip this step. Create the budget and see where you're spending your money. And there will be certain categories that you're like, wow, we spend a lot of money eating out. Like we could have eggs that night and spend way less money as family, and then all that extra money could go towards paying off the debt, which is your goal right now. So that's it. That's your whole assignment for today. Now you can make this as easy as taking a piece of paper. Let me show you here. I don't have a blank piece of paper, but you would take a piece of paper, and across the top here, probably landscape wise, you would write like 5 categories, like really big categories. So it would be like home, food, clothing, or needs. So it could be like clothing and toiletries, and all the things could go under here. And then it could be like bills, right? Because you gotta be able to pay your bills each month. And it would just be like really big categories up here. And you would start to write down everything that you're spending underneath that category. So every, your mortgage payment would be under home, and your phone bill, and your water bill, and your electric bill, all the home things, and your cable bill. All the things would go under here. So you would start to get an idea of what that category costs. And then all of your food, so it would be groceries and eating out, everything would go under here, just to keep it more simple. Now this is a really basic way to make a budget, and that is really how you could start, just so that you could get an idea of what you're spending. So at the very top of that category, so it'd be home, you would say, I have $3,000 to put in that category, and that's it. That's all we have for home. So we got to figure out how to make that work. So you would write $3,000, and then you would write your mortgage payment, and you would subtract that, right? And then you would have $2,000 left, or $1,500 left. Maybe your mortgage is $1,500. So then you have $1,500 left. So then you take the next bill, it's your water bill, and that's $80. And so then you subtract that from the $1,500, and you just kind of go down. And that's all I want you to do for your simple budget for the month. We've just got to get an idea of how much money you have to put towards your debt. So if you have a job where you're paid, weekly or bi-weekly, bi-monthly, whatever it is, you know what your income is. If you have an irregular job, it gets a little bit harder because you have to kind of predict the income that you'll have for that month in order to know how much extra you'll have to put towards debt, if that makes any sense. Now, if you want to get really detailed and create a budget in budgeting software that I use, which honestly takes a tiny bit of a learning curve, but if you're ready to get serious about paying off debt, I would highly recommend it. It's called YNAB. The link is in my personal link, which will give you an extra free month because it is a paid software. They give you a free month, and then with my link, you would get an extra free month. That is in the email that I sent you. So get that link through your email. But also, if you want, I have a really detailed tutorial of how I tell people to set up YNAB for the first time. Like most of my clients who have never used it, I kind of show them, especially people who are budgeting paycheck to paycheck, I show them how to set it up and make it easy to use in there. So you can you'll have to join my Facebook group, which is The Greatest Worth Family. And I will send you a link in the email that I sent you. There will be a link that says join the Greatest Worth Family, and it will give you the link to the actual video that I did for my group in there. They were asking how to set up YNAB, so I did that for them. And it will walk you through step by step. So I don't want you to be intimidated at all. It really will open up so much for you if you put stuff into the software, if you create a budget in the software, because the software is going to ensure that you keep track of every little bit of spending that you have. It's really beautiful. It takes, a few times. They have awesome tutorials that are free on their website. If you needed a little more than what I gave you. But I believe in you, and I know that your goal is to get rid of this debt. And I'm going to tell you that budgeting is the number one tool that you can use to get rid of your debt. Now, I know budgeting can be a loaded term and can feel overwhelming, and it's probably something you've tried in the past, and maybe it hasn't gone great for you. I totally get it. I have been there too. But this software, YNAB, will change things for you, I promise. It's kind of easy, it's minimal, and especially if you you stop using all of your credit cards and just use maybe your bank card and link your bank card, it'll make things so much easier to keep track of. So create your budget, my friend. Do it in YNAB or do it on a piece of paper. But it's time, and it just has to happen in order for you to get real traction on paying off your debt. So like I've said in all of the videos, please reach out to me. DM me on Facebook, Instagram. You'll be in the Facebook group now, so make sure that you check in there, check the YNAB video there, but then also ask any questions you have. And if you need a new tutorial, I can do a whole new one for you on Monday Night Live. So just let me know, or email me at hello@greatestworth.com. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow with your day 4 action steps.